Over here.
Hi, my name is Joe Jensen, and I'm with Students for Saving Social Security. And my question is for Ryan Ellis. How do you respond when opponents of personal retirement accounts say that it's too risky and that people, on average, aren't smart enough to manage their own retirement?
I guess it's still softball season out there. Well, let's see. Too risky. First, you have to take a look at the definition of risk. Under the current baseline that we're in, under the current Social Security system that we're in, the actual risk that younger workers have is getting a zero or a negative rate of return on all the money that they're paying in. The actual risk current younger workers have is a 50% Social Security tax increase. The actual risk younger workers currently have is a benefit cut of 1/3. So that's what we have under the current system. That's what the current baseline is. What I'm proposing is that younger workers take on the same risk that federal employees take on. Everyone in this room and many people watching on C-SPAN at home might know someone who works for the federal government. And they could ask them about the thrift savings program. And most federal employees will tell you it's great. The thrift savings program has 5 diversified stock and bond index mutual funds. You could literally throw a dart against the wall, hit one of these funds, and you would have a far greater rate of return than Social Security promises but cannot afford to pay you. There's 2 bond funds, the G fund and the F fund, and then there are 3 stock. The G fund is government treasuries, and the F fund is, I believe, GSEs. And then there are 3 stock funds. There's the S&P 500 index, which is the C fund, which represents about 85% of the market capitalization of all stocks traded in the United States. There's the S fund, which tracks most of the 2,000 smallest stocks traded in the United States. There's the I fund, which tracks a broad index of international funds. But suppose somebody didn't want to choose from among those. They also have now what are called L funds. L funds stand for life cycle funds. If someone did not want to take on the task of picking and choosing which funds, any combination of which would give them a far greater rate of return than what Social Security does today, than what the current Social Security system does today, they'd be defaulted into a life cycle fund. And the way these work is it's based on their age. So if I'm going to retire in 2050, I would be defaulted into the L2050 fund, which today might have 80% stocks, 20% bonds, somewhere in there. But as I age, the fund will automatically get more and more bond heavy and less stock heavy, so that over time I should be able to expect 7, 8, 9, 10% annual rate of return, probably historically somewhere around an 8% rate of return in there. Then upon retirement, a portion of that or all of it could be annuitized, and I could have a guaranteed income stream until I died. Whatever's left I could use either in my retirement or pass along to my children and grandchildren. So when you're looking at risk, you have to compare it first of all to the current risks that are already there and that are there in the current world, and then look at the really minimal and manageable amount of risk that you have in the thrift savings program, which is the model we're talking about here.
Thank you. Well, I see our time is got about
Ryan gave a very good explanation of the federal government thrift benefit plan. He missed one point, though, and that is that federal employees have underneath their thrift plan Social Security. It is the rock bottom foundation. Personal savings accounts are wonderful. I hope everyone in the country has them, but not in place of Social Security, on top of Social Security.
Thank you. One further comment on that, of course, Social Security is there, but I think there are 3 counties out in Texas that went the private route back in the 80s, and the Congress saw what was coming. They made that illegal. They wanted to keep the Social Security system the way it is. The federal employee health benefit plan, we like to say if it's good enough for us